Hey guys, welcome back to RHR Jen. I'm so glad you're here, you guys. We have a special treat here with us in the studio. What am I talking about? You're not in the studio. Here with us on camera is my friend John. If you know, you know. We did a separate recording where I only called him my friend John the whole time. But my friend John Witherspoon, thanks for being here today, John.
You are welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so we just recorded all about how Meghan refuses to call Harry Harry. Isn't that right, my friend John?
Yes, it seems that way. It
Yeah.
seems that way. That's something that people have picked up on, that there's certainly a reluctance to just call him by his name,
Yeah,
Harry,
that's right.
and there's a reluctance to sort of put aside the possessive nature of whatever name she does call him.
That is right. So you can definitely check that out very soon. I don't know which will go up first, that one or this one. But this video, John, Meghan has just posted some weirdness on her Instagram. And I thought, well, while we're here talking, would you like to break it down with me?
I would like to break it down with you.
Okay, that means I would like to watch your dance moves. Go ahead, break it down for us, John. Go ahead.
No, you didn't say that. That wasn't part of the deal.
Ah. Well, I do feel the need to explain my name today because otherwise it looks real weird. We will get into it, but there's a reason why my name is this that we'll go into. But just know that this is headed somewhere, not just being Meghan about it. So we'll get into that. I tried to get John to add but to his name, but for some reason he's like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, boring.
I know, my friend John. You're right, my friend John. I'm doing the Meghan. My husband. At least I give you a name with yours.
True. That's true. Good point.
True, my friend.
Credit where it's due.
That's right. I'm not trying to totally dehumanize you, just dehumanize you a little bit.
Right.
No, but thank you so much for being here. As we get into this, remind us how we can support you. You want us to go check out your Instagram?
Oh, sure. Yeah, thank you. Witherspoon DC is my Instagram, and a lot of people have followed, and I really appreciate that. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem at all. We're happy to do so. And I know we talk about in the other video, they get mad at me if I don't ask. Channel, maybe, possibly. Maybe.
Yeah, that's the other thing I was going to say. If and when I start up a channel, I'll announce it on Instagram, so all those folks will be the first people to jump on board, hopefully.
All right. So shall we flock to you, is what you're saying?
That'd be great.
No, we look forward to it, definitely. And if you guys hadn't watched, John and I have collabed together a bunch of times, so definitely go back and check out our other collabs. But John is thinking about starting up a channel where he would show. Well, you can answer. What do you think? What for your channel?
What would the contents be, or what would the name be?
No.
Oh gosh. Well, people keep asking me about DC, and everybody seems to want to know more about DC. So I'm hoping to just do some walking tours and show people around and explain a little bit about how the city is laid out. Very different than London, for instance, or a lot of other cities that are not a planned city. Washington is a planned city, and people find that always very interesting. So yeah, there's a lot to talk about.
That's cool. I'd love to see it. Yeah, I've never been, so I look forward to watching it through your channel. That's really cool.
Great.
Yeah, for sure. But today we're going to talk. Let's go. We're going to talk this one. No, we're going to talk Meghan. So we have a new Instagram post, and while the post itself, there's some interesting points we'll get into. It's part of a bigger picture that I just kind of wanted to bring up and show. But start with this. This is just a still image. So I went to her Instagram, as you can see there. It's Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, because you can't have an Instagram without your title. Sure. And then, so we have this, and I will zoom in and look at all this, but I'm just showing you off, just right off the bat. Here you go. This is the post. Now the caption by As Ever Official, every day is a love story. John, when you hear crap like that, what do you think? Are you just moved by the sentiment? Every day is a love story.
Apparently there's I don't know. It just, when I go into the drugstore and I read inside greeting cards, it
Mhm.
just looks like the type of thing that somebody would say.
Yeah. Every day.
It's so
It would be rude.
it's an attempt to be profound
Yes.
that really just sort of when it's all said and done, it's kind of like, really, that's what you could concoct to caption a picture like that? I don't know. It just seems like a missed opportunity.
I think you're so right. It looks like wall art in somebody's home I don't want to be friends with. You know?
It looks like the kind of thing that you would see on some little piece of something carved onto a piece of wood
Uh-huh.
that you would hang over your kitchen sink.
Yes. Exactly. It looks like something from Hobby Lobby that would be painted in a weird font that like a young couple would hang up and take photos in front of. I don't know.
Yes.
We're getting very specific, but yes, it's nothing profound. And then I told you off mic, I was like, oh, cool. Every day's a love story. Well, today I got flipped off in traffic. Is that a love
Right.
story?
Right. Yeah.
That's a love story, right?
It's and especially, it's especially odd to say that about a picture of a woman and two young children.
Yes.
How can there not be, and they're both clinging on to her
Uh-huh.
in some cases interesting ways.
Yes.
But why would that not be a love story? This is a mother and children.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Why is that not self-evident from the picture?
Exactly. Who are you trying to convince with this? Yes, it's very
Yes, exactly.
yeah. And yeah, I'm with you. I wasn't really gonna say, but I'll dance around it and say, why this one? Why this picture? I'll never talk about the kids. It's not their fault, any of it. Okay. But I have a Gosling and kids are weird and they do weird things. Why would you pick this picture? I'll let you guys decide what that means.
Yes. Well, this is not, I'm quite sure this was not the only picture of the series that was taken.
Uh-huh.
Somebody either somebody either took this as a frame grab out of a movie,
Uh-huh.
or, they probably took several pictures. Why?
Yeah.
This one just has some weirdness to it.
My guess has to do with my name. Look at my butt. Yeah, I don't know. It's very weird. It's very weird. But
It's just rather awkward in
yeah, it is.
certain ways.
But even that aside, okay, fine. That's just how the kid was standing. It's not the kid's fault. Okay.
Right.
But the thing that I immediately notice is, always Meghan is the center of the photo. Meghan is the main. When you look at just from an artistic point of view, it's just she is the center of the picture. That's where she always puts herself. So I mean, clearly this was staged, but it's just a very staged photo, and I think it's interesting. I don't know if we're supposed to think that Harry took the photo, but Harry has not. There's been a lot of stuff like this lately where Harry's just not in the photo.
Right.
So I'm speculating, it's my opinion, but my opinion is I find that interesting, and I wonder, could it be all in a lead up to, if and when they end? Harry was an absentee dad and I was on my own with the kids kind of thing. I just wonder.
It's a fair question. It's a fair question.
Yeah. So, John, tell us, do you have hat like either of those hats? I'm going to assume you do.
Well, you would assume wrong. Sorry to disappoint.
You mean your hat doesn't match your basket? What? No? Okay.
My chosen hat is usually the one closest to the door,
Okay.
the one closest to the bed that I took off the night before,
Uh-huh.
the cleanest one if I know I'm going to see somebody.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, that's my hat choosing procedure.
Okay. That makes sense. I
It is
gotcha.
not hat matching
Yeah.
any other article of clothing
That's
or accessory.
right. Um, yeah, so this was, it's fine. I mean, it just at face value, okay, she posted the kids, a little bit more of the kids, rolling the kids out, but there's more to it than this. And let me show you what that is. When looking, I found, let me see if this. I'd like to show you this. So it pops up, and I have, hold on, right here. This message pops up. And it says, many of you have asked, so here you go. A little shopping to start the week. More to come. Link in bio. So I don't understand Instagram. I don't need to understand Instagram. I don't care. So either I click something, but I don't think I did. I think I was just trying to screenshot a picture of the kids, and this popped up. So I think and again, I don't understand Instagram, but from what I could tell, I think she's using the kids to try to get you to click to get you here. This a handpicked curated collection of the things I love. I hope you enjoy them. Please note some products may contain commissionable links. So it's
Yeah.
a link to shop my closet. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are I'm sure the same as everybody else's.
Yeah, of
She's
course.
getting a cut.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
Yeah.
know, and call me cynical. When somebody says, oh, due to popular demand, everybody's been asking, how do I imitate your fantastic wardrobe? Where do I find that amazing cashmere sweater or whatever that you
Yeah.
used, what you wore when you cooked the pasta and the spaghetti? I don't know. If
It
it was
becomes a
me,
little
I would just say,
uh-huh.
if anybody's interested, here's some links
That's
if you
that's
care.
that's exactly it. And I can tell you from personal experience, I'm the question I get most, one of the questions I get most is, Jen, what color lipstick do you wear? And I'm like, I'll always show it. It doesn't matter. It's like a $4. It's like the cheap drugstore lipstick. I always show it and I tell the color. And so somebody actually suggested to me, Jen, you should do that through Amazon so you get a cut. And I was like, oh yeah, I should. Still haven't done it. I'm not going to gatekeep it. Here you go. If you want to buy it, it's NYX cranberry. John, if you, I think it'll look lovely on you. But but there you go. But no, that's exactly it. I think it becomes a little pretentious at some point if you're like, everybody's asking me. It's like,
Right,
okay,
right.
who's asking
So you
you?
don't, supplies are limited.
That's right. Exactly.
Order by midnight tonight.
And I'm just thinking, I don't think a lot of people are asking about her wardrobe. I'm just thinking there. I don't think that's something that people are asking about. If you
Well, here's, the other thing is too, if they're asking,
it doesn't mean they want it.
well, and I, I don't mean to sound unkind, but if somebody's asking, I would think a lot of the questions are, what in the hell is that?
That's exactly it. But in Meghan's world, oh, they're talking about they must want it.
Yeah, yeah. Or, I would think most people that would actually click on that link and would look would just start laughing. I mean, as has been done in the past when people have said, what in the world is she wearing?
That's exactly it.
And where did that come from? And how much did it cost? You're kidding me. You paid $6,000 for that?
For that,
I mean,
absolutely.
it seems to me that's pretty well known. Let's go back to the big picture though, again, as we've done several times, and usually when we talk. I mean, if you go up to the 50,000-foot view, I hate to say that Meghan is in kind of a whirlpool and is sort of being pulled down and pulled down and pulled down. But boy, it sure seems that way. I mean, you think about, you think about, I'm sorry, it's late in the day, Prince Andrew's wife.
Prince Andrew. Oh, Fergie. Sorry.
Yes, thank you, Fergie.
Sorry, yeah.
Fergie going on and doing the Weight Watchers thing.
Oh, yeah,
that
true.
she did.
Sure.
Fergie, there was that allegation that she was again, allegation. I don't even know enough about it to say whether it was ever proven or not, but there was an allegation that she had taken some money from somebody for access or for promotion of something. It was just all just sort of very unseemly, very unroyal.
Yes, I agree.
And this just, again,
this is that,
reeks of unroyalness on Meghan's part. I can't imagine that Harry is thrilled about this. This is to me, a definite step down. It's one thing to have a Netflix show about Heart of Invictus or Harry and Meghan, talk about yourselves if people want to listen. And then polo, ostensibly the sport of kings, and then cooking in a nice house. This sort of seems like, all right, I'm going to throw some stuff on eBay or Etsy. It just, there's a,
it's like desperation almost.
Yes, very much so. It certainly just seems that way. It's very I'm
not knocking the show, but I am going to a little bit and say, like, it's something a Bachelor contestant would do, or a Bachelorette or whatever. That's what you do. You go on the show, you get your 15 minutes, and then you're doing stuff like this and selling special teas, stuff like that. So
yeah, it's kind of like, as you said, there's a desperation to it. I haven't got anything else.
Yeah.
This is kind of, there's an expression when companies start to get into financial trouble.
Yes.
People talk about them burning the furniture to heat the house.
Okay.
Like, for instance, if you're just as a wild example, if you're an airline, all of a sudden, I just happen to be aware, Pan Am, for instance. Pan Am had, was originally it started out in Miami and they had routes all over the world. And then they also had this very extensive South American network that you could access through Miami. Well, they started to get into financial trouble. What did they do? They sold off all these routes from Miami to all the South American capitals and countries in Central America and the Caribbean. And everybody just said, okay, that's great. They've gotten themselves some extra funding, but like I said, they've sold the furniture to keep the house heated. And that strikes me as something analogous to what Meghan is doing here. She is selling the last vestiges of sophistication. She seems to be selling this is not a terribly classy thing to do, it strikes me.
Yeah.
And again, she's sort of selling the last vestiges of sophistication that she has, basically to keep herself in the spotlight and to keep people talking about her.
Exactly.
Again, this is all my opinion, but it just seems like as I said, there's kind of she's caught in a whirlpool and she's grasping at whatever she possibly can to keep from getting sucked into oblivion.
Yep, absolutely right. I didn't see any reference to the money goes to charity or anything like that. There was nothing that I saw that stated anything like that. So
that's right.
I think about how she likes to compare herself to Julia Roberts. It seems to be a pattern ongoing. And I just can't imagine somebody like that saying, want to know where I bought my top? Here you go, link in bio. That kind of, it's just kind of weird.
Well, and as we've seen so many times, the internet never fails to list exactly what it is that she's been wearing. There's no mystery about all of this.
Right.
The added wrinkle is that she's going to make a few bucks off of whatever possibly gets sold on this. So this is not a giant step of altruism on her part to say, oh my gosh, you guys have been asking and nobody has these answers and I'm going to swoop in and give you all this great information that you've been begging for. No one asked for this. Everybody who's interested in what she's wearing already found out long ago what it is that she's wearing. And as I said, the new added wrinkle here, the only thing that seems new is all of a sudden she's going to get a cut if somebody clicks on buy.
So I can't prove it, it's just allegations, but there have been long time, even since the time she was with the royal family, allegations that allegedly she or maybe somebody in her team might work with things like, there's like sites, I don't want to name specific ones, there are just sites out there where you can find, like with the word closet in there, that would have things that she's worn. Exactly. And I've said before, I understand why some of the weird stuff she's worn, it's very recognizable, but you can't tell me they just know exactly what plain beige button-down shirt she has. But they instantly know exactly what that is and a link to it. And I just wonder aloud if she was making money through them the whole time, but probably having, to share somehow. And this would cut out, if that's the case, this would cut out that middleman. This, again, as you always say, these are just our opinions. We can't prove anything. It's just
right. Well, the other thing that I mean is implicit in this is that she thinks she looks good.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing. And I've got some of the clothes and stuff she's merching. We'll get into that. But yeah, tell me, please.
Again, if you're going to play this,
right?
Yeah, if you're Meghan and you're going to play this game, why wouldn't you have a professional stylist? Which I mean, maybe she does. I would be shocked if that was the case, but this is all anybody talks about is she looks a mess all the time. The clothes don't fit properly.
Right.
They're inappropriate for whatever occasion a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And they're not well kempt. She looks like she rolled out of bed a lot of the time. Okay, how are you going to parlay that style, if you can call it that? It's not really style, lack of style. How are you going to parlay that into making a buck on actually selling some of the things that you're wearing? It does not make any sense at all. And I don't know anything about fashion. I know a little bit about marketing and a little bit about business, but that just doesn't make any sense at all.
Therein lies the disconnect, the ongoing disconnect with her, I think. Yeah, I can't make sense. I mean, it'd be like giving classes on how to be a great boss. Like, why? Who's going to you for that advice?
Yeah, right.
Their staff turnover is not good, so I can't imagine, So who's going to you for advice on this?
That's exactly right.
I say the same thing when she and Harry give parenting advice. Like, why? Who's going to you for advice? But
great example. Yes.
So,
the only possible explanation, and again, people talk about this all the time, but it seems like the only possible explanation for all this is if you go back to the H.G. Tudor common thread, which is you're talking about somebody who lacks apparently self-awareness, how they look, how they behave, how they treat other people. There seems to be a huge disconnect, to use that word again.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. She just seems, well, and I think that goes along with what you were asking. What did she use the stylist? In my opinion, it seems to be because to her mind, she might think something like, why would she if she thinks she knows the best or looks the best in everything? Why do you need a stylist?
Right.
It just
even for people in the U.S. Or maybe elsewhere who are familiar, Howard Stern used to do a show on the E! channel, entertainment channel in the U.S., and now he has a show that is on Sirius XM and so forth. He talks regularly about having a stylist who literally tells him when his hair needs to be cut, tells him, hey, that shirt looks good, or that shirt doesn't look good, or whatever.
Great.
And if, I mean, Howard Stern's a radio person, for heaven's sakes,
Yeah, true.
you know? And you would think, and you would think he probably wouldn't even be that concerned about it.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Good point. Yeah. Yeah, I can't make sense out of it. I always say to her, it seems to be that expensive equals good, and
Correct.
that's not the case. That's often
Correct.
not the case. So
You do not need to spend ridiculous amounts of money to look nice.
you're right.
And nobody's asking for anybody in the royal family or anywhere else to be a fashion model.
Right.
When you go out to do an event of some sort, all you really need to do is look nice and not look noticeably objectionable.
Yes.
And that's kind of the way that she ends up a lot of the time in a lot of people's viewpoint.
A long time ago, it was described by somebody in my comments, and it sticks with me because I think this is perfect, is that both of them, since they've been together, because he used to be a little neater, but now he's gotten messy too. Messy.
Yes.
They pointed out, and this is going to be a little bit crass, but they seem to think that those two like to look like they just rolled out of wherever, and that things may have been happening, and they got out of the car messy. And I'm like, oh my God, ever since then, that's all I think about. So it looks like they've been doing things. And I'm like, that is crazy. That probably made sense back in the engagement period when they were still into each other. I don't think that they're still into each other. So I think now they're just messy. But I thought that was such an interesting point that somebody made. I thought that was, ever since then, I was like, oh my God, they might be right.
You know what? The only time that Harry, I agree with you, by the way, and the only time that now that Harry actually looks good is when he puts on a military uniform.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
The other times, and his military uniform, again, is probably because he knows he's been through inspection and he knows, parade dress and all that stuff. He gets it.
Yeah.
But the rest of the time, it's just, it almost seems like, okay, I look good enough.
Yeah. I was shocked by Coronation. We don't have to spend time on it, but that's something that sticks out at me because he was the most wrinkled mess. He was even, I believe he was sponsored because he kept pushing that it was, I believe Dior had sponsored. And Dior put out a thing saying something about the suit. So I was like, okay, that's merch. But it's like he slept in his suit. It was the most wrinkled mess. I just couldn't believe it. Of all times you don't want to clean up. It was like, he took a cue from Meghan on that one. I'm going to make a statement and just show up wrinkled and disheveled. Like, I don't care. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're weird.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's unfortunate. It really is. Because, he could look, as I just said, he looks impressive in a military getup. Why can't he replicate that? What's that?
So, except for his face. I always tease about his beady-eyed beaker. But yes, I go.
Very well.
But I'm snarkier than you are. You're nicer.
I try.
No, you're right. What'd you say?
I said I try.
Yeah.
I try.
I don't. There's no pretense here. I took a look at the Instagram store and I thought I'd just like to show you and get your thoughts on this. So this is it. Just as you pull it up, you can see a lot of beige, boring. What are we doing here? What are your instant thoughts on the Instagram?
Well, you're not wrong about the beige.
Yeah. Yeah. Beige. It's not just beige in color. It's beige in design. What am I looking at here? It's just, I don't know what she's trying to go for.
Yeah.
Same could be said when she wears anything. I always say, what is this look she's going for? But I started clicking around in it and I just want to show you this. Like this, for instance, is one of the dresses listed. I was like, oh, that's the Nigeria dress. That's the dress she wore in Nigeria. At front is to a school. At front, fine. Okay. Turn side, boobs. And so that was the one a lot of people had objection to because it's like, how are you going to wear that to a school?
Yeah. And wait a minute. What was the name of it?
Oh,
Windsor?
Yeah. That's it. That's
imagine that.
It's called the Windsor gown. Yes, imagine that. And if you were curious, This
Might be
gown.
Windsor. Might be. Are we sure it's not Windsor nightgown? It kind of looks like it.
This is the one that I think that she wore because it seemed to be that color. So it's blush silk Windsor gown, $1,350. In case you were wondering, if you want to run right out and pick you up one. But I'm thinking out loud. Okay, so this Heidi, whoever, if she can sell her clothes for $1,300, if there's a sucker out there buying this dress for $1,350, does she want Meghan linking it? I don't know. If anything, you'd think it would Markle the dress, you know? Might hurt the business.
It's very odd, you know. And again, I know nothing about women's clothing for the most part. I do know, for instance, like in men's suits, if you go to buy a men's suit, you know who the designer is. You know the fabric. You know it's usually like if it's a Super 100, for instance, is a grade of wool that's used in a suit. You know, you look at things like that. Was it tailored in Hong Kong? Was it tailored in Italy? Was it tailored in France? Or was it tailored in, Bangladesh or something like that? So I don't understand what are you getting for the $1,300? That's what's kind of mysterious to me. And $1,300, as we know, that's kind of low end. That's, that's,
Sure.
it's, again, and it's like if you spend $1,000, if I walk into a store and I see a suit for $1,000, it doesn't take me more than a few moments to figure out, okay, is this a fair price for this suit? And like I said, if it's all those things that I just mentioned,
right,
you can tell, okay, well, this is a fair price for this, given all of its pedigree. But I mean, you see a dress like that for $1,300 and you just think, okay, well, what went into it? To me, it's...
Oh, please. No,
I was just going to say, to me, it just looks kind of average.
I could argue on a suit, you can mix and match shirts and wear it multiple. I mean, that's the point of the suit, is to wear it lots. What do you?
Well, that too. Yes.
What are we doing? How many times can you wear a beige dress like this? I don't know.
Right. Well, and how many times does she wear the same article of clothing? It seems, from everything that I seem to hear, it seems like it's a very rare occasion when she actually wears something a second time. So to talk about, oh, I love this particular, okay, well, why don't you wear it more often?
That's a good point. You're absolutely right. Yeah. I don't know. But it is interesting that it's called the Windsor gown.
Yeah.
Weird. And then I wanted to show you these earrings too. Do you see the name of these? Royal Signet studs. That's what the actual product name is.
If she's gonna wear those in the kitchen with bare feet, I sure hope one of them doesn't fall out of her ear and end up in her heel. Can imagine what that would feel like. Ouch.
It looks like a tack. You're right.
Yes.
I looked up the price of these. I thought I had it on the screen. I don't. I want to say it was like 300 and some odd, like 375, something like that.
Okay. What are they made out of? Does it say?
No, it doesn't. Just Royal Signet. That's what it's made out. I have no idea.
Okay. Fair enough.
And then there's this. Now, what's interesting about this one is, well, first of all, it's weird. But when I started looking into this one, I was like, wait a second. That is her friend. I actually thought that was Meghan on the bottom picture there. That's her friend Abigail. So somehow that Abigail has a tie to this.
Okay.
This is called the Happiness Retreat because, again, if you think happiness, do you instantly think Harry and Meghan? I certainly do. Not.
Yeah.
So if you wanted this stupid thing, it'll cost you $495. John, would you like one?
No, not really.
No?
Can you store? Does it have any utility? Can you store can you put like breath mints, Altoids, or Tic Tacs in it? And in case here, give me one of these.
If that was the case,
I've got dog breath. Give me one of these. Hold on a second.
If that was the case, Harry's known to like to wear necklaces, and he likes different types of substances of different natures, so he might
Yeah.
like a necklace like this.
Well, God forbid he wears it around his brother.
That's right. That's it. Exactly.
Might end up in a heap in the corner.
Next to the broken dog bowl.
Exactly. Broken everything.
That's right. That's right. Oh goodness.
We crack ourselves up.
We really do. But yeah,
Can we tell it's 7:30 at night? It's
That's right. That's right. John's upset. I won't go eat his banana split.
Yes.
That's
it's calling to me. It's right here. It's calling to me.
Oh, can you show us again? Because that was a separate video. People might not realize what you've made.
Do you want to see the? Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
Well, that's all right. Well, as I
link your banana split.
Yeah. Well, this is the bowl we talked about the other day. This is the 7-pound concrete bowl that somebody gave to me. Came from Amazon. It's $39, not $159 or whatever somebody said the other day. But the important thing to see though is I've replicated. I've taken inspiration, and I've got a banana that's been cut in half, and then I have a blueberry. I can rotate this around. I have a blueberry and a little whipped cream, and then I have some assorted pieces of breakfast cereal on there. I have a little shredded wheat doodad, and then I have I think a cornflake or two over here. So that's, I don't know. Like I said, I was inspired.
That's right. That's incredible work.
Between that and Gwyneth Paltrow's biscuits, which I had to put back in the freezer, but I'm eagerly anticipating.
That's right.
And Gwyneth, if you're watching, hats off.
You'll
appreciate the tip.
Yeah, that's right. Let us know how it goes.
Gwyneth Paltrow, she's eating like a peasant. I don't understand that. Who would have thought that somebody of Gwyneth Paltrow's stature would be eating frozen biscuits that came out of the grocery store freezer, of all things? She has really lowered herself.
That's
no,
right.
I'm just kidding. I think it's great that if she wants to eat stuff that comes, more power to her. More power to her. And if she wants to cook a couple of eggs and break one of the yolks in the process and just roll with it, good on her.
That's
good
right.
on her. Yeah. I really liked her video. I really liked the Tracy Anderson video. Like we said before, I thought Tracy Anderson just seemed like very fun, interesting person that anybody would love to meet.
Yeah.
And
I think the key with the two of them is they seem to have a joy of being in the kitchen and showing what they're doing. That's
right.
Yeah.
And there's an authenticity that comes up so many times, and everybody, why doesn't anybody like Meghan? Well, there's an authenticity deficit.
Yeah,
and it was not present with Tracy Anderson. It was not present with Pamela Anderson. It was not present with Gwyneth Paltrow or anybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. I agree.
And it's like we were saying the other day. People buy things from people that they like. And we talked the other day about the 3 stages of affiliation with another person. Know at the bottom, you know who this person is. The next step is you hang around them, you know enough about them to like them or not like them. And then once you have liked them for long enough, then you begin to trust them. Yeah. And everybody else out there on the scene has basically all 3 of those things. Like I showed somebody the other day, Dolly Parton has like a cheesecake pie that she sells now. That's absolutely fantastic. Can't recommend it highly enough. And again, everybody knows Dolly Parton, everybody likes Dolly Parton, and everybody trusts Dolly Parton. Would Dolly Parton serve me? Would she put her name on something that wasn't good to eat? Absolutely not.
Sure. Yeah.
Do I feel that way about something that Meghan might sell in terms of a piece of clothing or a bottle of jam or something? No,
Or a
it's just a
husband. Yeah.
totally different connection.
Yeah, I agree. I agree completely. Goodness. Yeah. Well, John, I want to thank you. Did you have any other thoughts on this? You feel good about it?
I think we're good. Yeah. It's always fun to chat, and especially, even when it's not a legal, directly oriented topic, just sort of fun to,
Yeah, you were
shoot the
here
bull
for
about some of these things and compare notes, and always fun to read the comments. Be sure and like and subscribe.
That's
Really,
right.
I mean, Jen, you don't say that very often, but it's true. And I'll throw a bone to you as well.
Yes.
Like this video.
Yeah, that does.
I can't remember. There's a guy, he's a Canadian guy, and he's very funny. He talks about politics and everything. And he says, like this video. That's all I care about.
Oh,
That's all I care about. Just like the video. You have no idea what great things that does when somebody likes, or when everybody likes the video. Like, subscribe, and comment. Really, that the YouTube algorithm eats that stuff up.
there you go. I do forget to say that, and that helps. I have been trying to make a better effort. I'm trying to push to 200,000 subs. I can't remember what I'm at the time of this recording, but I'm in the high 170s. So I'm pushing to 200,000. So every sub gets me toward that goal. So thank you for reminding me of that. I appreciate it. But and we would like to follow you on Instagram. Remind everybody what your Instagram is.
Sure. Witherspoon DC.
Okay. All right.
Witherspoon DC. Yep.
Sounds good. Yeah, we can do that. But as always, it's a pleasure talking to you. And as they do more crazy stuff, I'm going to be bugging you to come back and to fill us in. And I will be talking to you more about how to sue her for stealing my geese.
Yeah. Well, like I said, that might be don't want to give you too much of what sounds like legal advice, but I'll just based on my knowledge and experience, which is the sort of default. My knowledge and experience suggests to me that might be a tough case.
Oh, okay, fine. My knowledge and experience suggested me that Meghan's going to show up in something beige and wrinkled any day now.
Well,
safe bet.
Again, there's pattern recognition is an underappreciated phenomenon.
That's right. Well, thank you, John, so much for everything. We appreciate it. We look forward to talking to you again very soon. You take care.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jen.
Bye.
Bye-bye.